Francis the Mute, known in some circles of the Mars Volta community as Frankie, the fella who couldn't speak. This is one of those albums that I love to listen to from start to finish, the whole thing. Like the 4 minutes and 16 seconds of bird sounds and wailing that are at the beginning of Miranda, even that dissonant like 2 minutes and 34 seconds of Satan organ that's at the end of The Widow, the whole thing. The album is a full experience, and I believe with my whole ass that it must be listened to in its entirety or not at all. That being said, I made an orchestral version of just the first track from the album because there's no fucking way I'm gonna be able to maintain the motivation to work on the whole album. It's an hour and 17 fucking minutes long, you guys. And that doesn't even include the title track that they had to release separately, which is another like 14 minutes, an hour and 17 fucking minutes. Today I want to talk about 3 of the main challenges I faced when arranging my cover of Cygnus Vismund Cygnus. First off, the drums. Hey there, drums. What you doing? What's all that cool shit that you're up to? The Mars Volta is pretty well known for having insane drummers that are very creative and have very good chops. Cygnus Vismund Cygnus is no exception and has plenty of examples of this occurring throughout the song. John Theodore absolutely fucking murdered the entire song. I love the drums. I love them so much. And I am a drummer, so one of the greatest challenges that I face when I'm working on something like this with these creative drum parts that I love so much is I don't want to hurt them. But if I'm working on an orchestral cover, I have to find ways to make the drum set parts that are very complicated translate over to orchestral percussion without completely fucking up the mix. So they've got to make sense and not be too cluttered, which is hard for me, very difficult. My primary strategy is to either completely simplify the drum parts because there's going to be enough stuff going on in the other sections that I don't need like a bunch of different drum things sort of cluttering up the mix and making it an absolute disaster. Or the other option is to play a lot of the more difficult stuff on higher percussion that is not going to have a lot of that low end to mid-range information that will destroy a mix, or some combination of the two. Number 2, evil overlapping guitar solos. This whole album is full of what you could call dense soundscapes, huge like 2 to 4 minute sections of just like bird sounds and Cedric wailing and Satan organ. Occasionally there are things that one Tumblr user referred to, I'm just paraphrasing here, simultaneous evil guitar solos. Omar is just going crazy in surround sound, and so you're just like sort of surrounded by guitar solos that are doing all sorts of things that are working together but creates a sort of sense of chaos. Now, while I could take the time to transcribe every fucking evil guitar solo to an instrument and find out like where to put it in this vast fucking range of orchestral instruments, I will not. Really, the beauty of a guitar solo is, to me, in its improvisational nature. So when Omar is going to be playing any of this stuff live, he's not going to do the album version of the guitar solo. There may be bits and pieces of it, but he's going to play around a bit. So when I got to sections where there were guitar solos, I just sort of tried to like capture the vibe of the guitar. There's a whole middle section where there's like a really long kind of sort of vamp thing while the guitar is soloing. And I ended up putting that on a solo clarinet and a flute sort of playing off of each other. So you still have the essence of simultaneous evil guitar solos, but they're on different instruments and they are far simplified. I just tried to like capture the vibe, occasionally throw in little bits of things from other parts of the album that I thought were interesting. Plus, a fucking clarinet or a flute is not going to play a solo exactly like a guitar. They're very different instruments. Clarinets have to breathe. Changing how long the solo section worked also helped me to drastically reduce the runtime of the song from like 13 minutes something to I think just a little over 9 minutes. So that helped me personally stay motivated and actually finish the fucking song. Number 3, learning Cubase. Perhaps the biggest challenge I faced was my decision in early 2024 to switch DAWs. Now, prior to 2024, I had primarily been using Reason Studios for like a decade roughly. So it was software that I was used to, but I found that for the composing world, it had some limitations and there were some things that were missing that I desired from another DAW. And thus, 2024, I broke into Cubase 13. Cygnus was my second piece written in Cubase. There were certain concepts I was able to take from my time with Reason and apply them to Cubase, but these two DAWs work entirely different. For a lot of the reasons that I switched in the first place, this was great. There were things I could do in this DAW that I couldn't do in others, such as editing multiple parts at the same time if I needed to move lots of things at once. In many other ways, this was much slower than I was used to, only because I didn't know how to do basic things. So why did I decide to work on a 13-minute behemoth of a song as my second song ever? I don't know, because I'm a masochist. This is the only reason. And I learn through pain and struggle, and it fuels me. Give me the pain, Daddy! Sorry, you didn't need to know any of that about me. The point I want to get across is if you're going to switch to a new DAW, you could maybe start with writing something easier, shorter, but also like I'm the kind of person that if I'm gonna say quit coffee after years of drinking like 6 cups a day, I'm gonna do it cold turkey just because I like to complain about how shitty I feel. I don't know. I like doing difficult things for all the wrong reasons. And those were the primary difficulties that I faced in putting together this cover of Cygnus Vismund Cygnus. So in this video, I kind of just wanted to go over some like mindset things that happen behind the scenes and just, you know, keep it shorter. If you listened to the track and you at any point had questions or you're wondering about specific things, feel free to post them in the comments. I can respond to them either via comment. I can do entire videos on the subject. Wow, I'm slightly out of focus here. It's too late. We're already at the end of the video. So hit that like button, leave a comment, share this with your mother, etc., etc. Helps me tremendously because it feeds me into this gross algorithm that we all can't get away from, no matter how hard we try. It just keeps pulling us in. Don't leave us, Gerald. Stay forever. Leave your family behind. There is no wife. There are no kids. There is only YouTube. When does it end? Okay, bye.